comes. Mihai's looking worse. Thank God he has his granddaughters here to help him out. They're sisters, 15 and 10. Engaging the enemy in combat so we could use his physiological data to improve the drones had always taken a toll on Mihai's body. But today, he was really showing his age. The drones we based on his data were being taken down at a faster rate now compared to when the war began. When Mihai found that out, he insisted on flying to the front lines to see it for himself. Sometimes he could be so stubborn. His age wasn't the only thing affecting his health. Over the years, flying at high altitudes for prolonged stretches of time had ravaged and poisoned his body. But he was a man of grit. Today, after 28 years, he saw combat again. If his flight suit still wasn't good enough to protect him, I can't imagine how many G's he hit today during the battle. As a pilot, he exceeds all our expectations. It's going to take a bit more tweaking before our drones can match his skill.
How penal is this penal unit, you ask? This place is a shithole. If you took the stink of all the corruption in the world, then corralled it all in one place, that would give you a pretty good idea of what the air smells like around here. We got all kinds of critters, too. Everything from flea-ridden guards, rabid dogs, and a mechanic doing the stretch for life. I can't forget the rats. Yeah, we got those. And some pilots who got their wings clipped, too. One's a great pilot, but a lousy thief. One's a gambler with no luck. And one's an anarchist with no balls. Their job here was to rev the engines on the fake runways. The idea was for Aruja's spy satellite to pick up the heat sig. Even though there weren't any real fighters here, it looked like it on their infrared. I bet you're wondering, if Aruja lost the war, how come they still have a spy satellite? Because someone over there was smart enough to train a bunch of computer nerds to hack into half of Osia's satellites. That's how come. Every now and again, I'd try to bust out. And every single time, those damn dogs would drag me right back. When I was in my cell, I'd hear this voice coming from the guards room. It was the Erusian princess rallying her people on the Erusian national broadcast. All us prisoners had become big fans of hers. You want to hear something funny? The guards were big fans too. I swear to God, every time she was on the air, they'd turn up the volume on the radio and sit there listening. I could see how someone like her could win the hearts and minds of soldiers and workers alike. When the princess said something, you could tell she meant every word. Lately, she'd been having more fun with her speeches, and that made her seem even more charming. You could say her charm was like a virus. Whenever she'd point out stuff that was wrong with Osia, the prisoners in here went nuts. Hell, if anyone knew how messed up Osia was, it was the prisoners. They'd shout, "Burn Osia down." No way am I just gonna sit here and rot away in this hellhole. Dark blue. Instead of building fake-ass planes to trick Aruja, I'm gonna build one that'll really take off. You can count on that.
Except we can't, because I mean, they never really quite follow up with her story arc, I feel like, all the way. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mission 4 of our Ace Combat 7 Let's Play.
As proved by the failure
I think
of
we're
our
going to get
previous
briefed
strategy,
here.
the Arsenal birds have bolstered the enemy's anti-air network. This will be difficult to overcome. However, we still need to get swiftly to the space elevator no matter what it takes.
Even if all of
Someone's
us get
there
shot
is
down.
counting on us. The hero of the Circum-Pacific War and the man who spearheaded the construction of the space elevator.
See, how is President Harling the hero of the Circum-Pacific War exactly? Like, he just was a prisoner for the greater majority of it until, you know, you rescue him?
He's been classified
basically
as
only at the
missing
very
since
end.
the elevator was taken over by the Erusian forces. However, according to the latest intel, a military officer accompanying Mr. Harling hid him inside the facility. Both are waiting for a chance to escape. Enemy anti-air radar network has been set up around the space elevator. It's likely a large squadron would be detected. We will send a single aircraft through the network and send in a rescue team soon after. A number of anti-air radars have been set up around the space elevator. However, our reconnaissance suggests their network is weakest along the southeastern coast of Selatapura, so we can elude the enemy's observation. There are a lot of rain clouds this time of year. Flying through the clouds will enable us to stay hidden from their radar. If you happen to be detected by their radar, we will be forced to abort the mission. The lone pilot who will head up this strategy is you, Trigger. After you bust through, secure the rescue craft's landing zone by taking out the anti-air weapons. Gollum and others will arrive shortly for support. Provide escort for Mr. Harling's craft after rendezvous. Good luck out there, everyone.
It is kind of funny, right? Because, like, first of all, the perimeter they're having you start from, I get it's fun for gameplay. That's the whole reason why anything in a video game matters. Like, we get it. But, there's no reason for us to do the whole sneaking through. Like, their perimeter that we start out at, right, is so big that in reality we would just be able to, like, jump right through it and bypass the whole thing. I'm gonna go down the F2 path because I didn't really do that the first time I played, so I'm gonna go ahead and unlock the F2 and then we'll get the F-15J and all that other cool stuff. But the point is, like, if we are all flying in supersonic, like, by the time that they actually detected us, we'd basically already be on top of the space elevator, but that's alright. Okay, hypervelocity, yeah, let's do that. Alright, awesome. And we'll use our new special weapons, make sure that we're equipped with our right components, which is only one right now, and go ahead and sortie.
Aircraft preparations complete. Sortie ASAP.
It's just little details like that where it's like, it's hard. You have to logically, in your mind, you have to separate, right, like video game from reality to an extent, because you understand that
Entering operation
the video game was too realistic, right?
We'll radio you.
It really doesn't become a super fun game anymore. I mean, sometimes there are games that are super realistic, that are fun, like, you know, there's obviously DCS would be an example.
Use of weaponry is also strictly forbidden.
However,
Okay, you're heading up the Harling rescue mission.
you want to keep it not too ridiculous, right? Or else it just starts to seem a little surreal, and like, why is this the case? So having these radar circles is always amusing, because it made for an interesting thing in terms of, like, okay, well, you know, it just gives it a little more challenge in the gameplay. However, like, there's no logical reason for this exactly. Like, why is the radar only in these circles? Like, is each of these a separate radar station? Like, is this how short the coverage is, you know? It is kind of funny.
Good job, but stay focused.
And then also, we're flying right over this airport that's presumably been occupied by the enemy, so I'm guessing maybe all the soldiers stationed there are deaf. I guess that's the explanation, because they would definitely hear us. But you always have to make that, you know, choice in terms of the compromise between fun and logic.
Just go with your gut. Don't worry, we're watching over you.
I love how it's radio silence for me, but they can talk to me the whole time too. That's another little again, I'm not trying to sound like I'm complaining too hard here, to be clear. Because I, again, really like this game. I just like to poke fun at
Currently
things.
halfway to your rendezvous point.
Okay.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. It's just gonna be you and your radar out there. Just know you got a bunch of people pulling for you. And I'm one of them.
I'm
You're 3
inspired.
points in the way. Been a long fight, but you're nearly home.
Alright.
Harling is still the president in my eyes.
We didn't ask you.
He ended the war, built the space elevator, and launched a spaceship from it. Despite his success, he remained a humble hero.
See, I wonder how many terms...
My best to save him. Lend me a
I
hand.
know they're trying to set it up that it's really tragic that what happens, but, like, it is a little heavy-handed.
Rendezvous point dead ahead. Hang in there.
Also, like, he was halfway through his second term at the end of Ace Combat 5, so I'm assuming in Osea
Trigger, the first
the
stage
president
of the
can
mission is
serve
clear.
more than 2 terms,
Don't
because,
celebrate yet. The real fight's about to get started.
like, how would he be able to build a space elevator and then, you know, execute a
Radio
mission
silence is now lifted.
in
The
literally,
auxiliary
like, the
craft
2
will be arriving
years
shortly.
after the end of the Circum-Pacific War?
Destroy
I
the
guess they
anti-air
must have,
around the space elevator.
I guess maybe
Securing
there's no
Sea
term
Goblin's
limits in
landing zone.
Osea, in which case why is he still not the president if he's so popular, but whatever. Or maybe it's like 3 terms or 4
H2, target
terms.
destroyed.
I don't know. I think in reality, of course, building a space elevator would be like a, you know, 20 or 30-year project or something, if it was something we had the ability to do. But I get it's Ace Combat, so they're building giant superstructures and super weapons all the time, and it's just, you know, it's just kind of par for the course. They've got very good construction crews here in Strange Wheel.
Trigger jumped through the fire. Now it's our turn. Understood.
Gargoyle Squadron, stay focused. You all know your job.
All aircraft, eliminate the enemy before they can respond.
But
H2, target down.
there we go.
Half of the anti-air guns down.
Again, with how
Sea Goblin will arrive shortly.
with the
Eliminate
way
hostile
that
anti-air before that.
our timing worked, like it would probably
All
make more
SAM
sense
sites
just to
down.
dive right through the radar
There are
at
still
max
AA
speed.
guns. Destroy them and secure the LZ.
This is Sea Goblin. We've arrived.
We'd be on top of this target before they could react if that was really how short their radar coverage was.
H2, rescue team
there we
can't
go.
land until
Alright,
anti-air
cool.
weapons are down. Destroy them.
Okay, they're all destroyed. You're welcome.
All anti-air guns destroyed.
Take a second to admire our
The landing zone is
F2
secure.
here.
Sea Goblin, you are clear to land.
Roger. Rendezvous point in sight. We're almost there.
Multiple bandits over Selatapura Harbor.
All
Container
right.
launched UAVs.
Oh, how exciting.
Going up to meet on 2 VIPs.
Rescue craft tagged on. Initiate.
Rescue craft on the ground is defenseless. Golem and Mage, destroy all hostiles.
So it's intriguing, like, right, I get, the idea of having, like, container-launched UAVs is actually kind of a cool one, right? So it's, because obviously it's like, okay, well, we can actually deploy these from kind of anywhere, essentially. But why would you put them in the city here, like, in with the container boxes? Like,
Target destruction confirmed.
unless, I guess it's, like, trying to be concealed, but since they control this territory, I feel like you'd put them, presumably you'd either like have them stationed at like a base, like that airport, you know, so that way you don't have these scattered all through the city where civilians, you know, potentially in this occupied city could essentially like sabotage them. Or, ooh, speaking of civilian casualties, or you could like
UAVs
put them
approaching the space
right
elevator.
on the space elevator, just right around the perimeter of it, so that way you know have the best response time. All right, let's see here. See if our next shot is any better.
Pass out from exhaustion before the enemy wears
Okay, we got that one, but we didn't get to see it, unfortunately. Just because we had to dodge that missile. Alright, let's see.
Sea Goblin, all survivors, respond. Is Mr. Harling alive? Eliminate all enemy UAVs. Don't let up.
Alright.
That's about half. Mop up the rest.
They got the chopper and Sierra too! That was thermobaric!
3 remaining.
Rocket!
Damn. Fox 2. Fox 2.
Okay, well, I'm guessing this container truck also has a UAV in it?
Do you copy? I am with President Harling. Rescue unit down. The one that told you had this radio.
See, this guy, he seems like he should be like Captain Snow. He's obviously not. First of all, he's a colonel, and he's got a different character name as well. But it's kind of interesting, like, he sounds very similar. I mean, I get it would basically just be fan service to have, oh yeah, it's Captain Snow again. But
President Mr. Harling.
All squadrons be advised. The call sign is Mother Goose 1. I've sent the information via the data link.
now this is also funny. Again, I'm being very nitpicky here. But the whole Mother Goose 1 thing, which I know they're doing is a reference for us, basically. But, like, presumably, I just always would assume that Mother Goose 1 would just be, like, the call sign of the, like, you know, the President's plane in OCO, much like Air Force 1 is actually just the call sign for, you know, whatever aircraft the President of the United States is on. It doesn't matter if it's, like, a Cessna or a, you know, fighter jet, if he's riding backseat or something to go out to an aircraft carrier, like President Bush did. For his little famous mission accomplished picture. I would just assume that the president would be, you know, Mother Goose 1, no matter what aircraft they're on. But, of course, this is the past president, so Mother Goose 1 doesn't really make sense. So you think it would just be like Goblin 1 or whatever, you know, whatever the helicopter squadron call scheme was, you'd think you would just kind of like commandeer that name.
Forerunner for Arsenal Bird.
The big bird is coming, huh?
Mage, protect Mother Goose 1. Shoot down any UAVs. Gollum, intercept the UAVs.
Golem 1 will kill. That last battle taught me a lot about those aliens. Golem 2, don't stray off on me. Always maintain element.
Let's get these.
Enemy UAV down. Great job.
And the mighty horde approaches. I feel like if these all really wanted to shoot down the transport,
Mother Goose 1, UAV on your
they could
tail.
do
Take
it
evasive action.
effortlessly. There's so many of them
This isn't exactly a fighter.
that it would just they'd be able to overwhelm us.
Nice work. Keep it up.
Understood. An Arsenal bird is on its way. Strategic AI chose liberty over justice. Courses have already changed.
So wait, the two Arsenal birds are called Liberty and Justice. That's amazing.
Mother Goose 1.
I think that's what that was hinted at there.
Goose 1 has been shot down.
Oh, okay. I guess we have to be a lot more careful. I just assumed it was scripted because, you know what happens. Yeah, retry from checkpoint. Who cares? Alright. Let's protect Mother Goose 1.
Mother Goose 1 is heading south.
I'll stick closer this time so I can get framed. Spoilers.
Skykeeper, bogeys on my radar. Bearing 220.
Sighting
Alright.
confirmed as MQ-101. Forerunner for Arsenal Bird.
The big bird is coming, huh?
This is
Mage, protect
they're
Mother
flying
Goose
as
1. Shoot
slow
down
as they
any
possibly
UAVs.
can right now.
Intercept the UAVs.
I think that the real Osprey can fly about 400 miles an hour, which is definitely pretty slow compared to fighters, but he'd be able to nope out of here pretty quick. But I also get it's supposed to be like an inexperienced pilot flying it, which means realistically he'd just like die because Ospreys are not easy aircraft to fly, so it's not something that you just be able to like jump in and fly away. Alright. There we go. So we'll just make sure we're sanitizing them constantly.
Keep up the good work.
Understood. An arsenal bird is on its way. Strategic AI chose liberty over justice. Courses have already changed.
Let's see here.
Cargo 1, where's the signal? Gargoyle Squadron, stand by for my order. Someone's at the lighthouse. I mean the harbor. They won't be able to get home. That ship isn't one of ours. Where's the signal?
And I love how there's like communication. There's so much convoluted stuff in this game. I can't help but wonder, with all the different dialogue and stuff like that, is never followed up on at different points. I'm curious if like oh, there we go. Yeah, they try and destroy the space elevator, I guess, and then the drones protect it. We're shooting air-to-air missiles at the space elevator because, you know, it makes sense to do that, of course.
Skykeeper, what the hell was that?
Gargoyle did their job.
I figured, but why weren't we informed? The IUN can't coordinate between branches as usual.
But there's no reason to attack the space elevator. That's like, again, it's just like, I feel like this game was rewritten multiple times during the development process. That's like my only speculation as to why
Mother Goose 1 hit. Mother Goose 1 has been hit. Colonel Johnson, respond.
why it's
Main squadron, assess the
why it's
situation.
like this, so to speak, because the story just is kind of so back and forth.
One in my sight.
It's just, that's like my only logical belief is that what happened is they actually did like have multiple versions of the story, and what we're seeing is sort of like an edited together story that was sort of made out of the parts they had from all of them to kind of try and get the most cohesive thing that they could. That's my theory anyway, I don't know.
Providing cover for Mother Goose 1?
Of course.
Alright.
Lock acquired.
Mother Goose 1 is turning. What's going on? They're heading to the space elevator.
It's flying at a steady altitude. Who's in control?
It's not the Colonel. Mr. Harling's the only one on board. Mother Goose 1, respond!
Alright.
Mr. Harling, please respond.
We can't protect our objective if it sticks around here. Now's not the time to freak out, fellas. We've still got a job to do, so let's do it. Keep your mind focused.
Mr. Harling, we are not giving up on you.
Let's see.
The UAVs are approaching Mother Goose 1.
Let's go, Trigger.
Take them down now, Mage Squadron. 1 minute remaining.
I love how it's like 1 minute remaining. What do you mean?
Acquired.
What do you mean 1 minute remaining? 1 minute remaining for
Mother Goose
what?
1, turn 180 degrees and exit combat airspace. Mother Goose 1, Mr. Harling, are you piloting that plane?
Okay, is this where we kill him? Hey, not really.
The UAVs are continuing their attack.
You're obsessed with that transport.
Alright, cool. Yep, there we go. Oh.
Oh my god, Mother Goose 1 has been shot down.
Where'd the missile come from?
Mage 2 fired that.
It was OG. A friendly missile hit him.
There's no way anyone
Verifying the
would be
situation.
able to tell
Speculating.
that
Friendly
close.
fire. I saw it. Mother Goose
It's
1
like they're
exploded in
all
air.
fighter pilots, and they're all
Tried to protect the
they're all engaged in a dogfight, yet they're all apparently staring right at you to tell that it was you that shot him down, I guess, is what it's trying to insinuate.
I told you to keep
It's
a
just really
goddamn eye
funny.
in the hatchway. It must have been a mistake.
And then, of course,
Arsenal bird is entering
planes all have gun cameras, so you'd definitely be able to tell it wasn't actually Trigger that fired the missile. It's fine, you get it. It's for the plot of the game, but it's just, there's so many reasons that it doesn't make any sense. Like, first of all, that giant attack wave of UAVs, they should have just killed them. Like, the only reason why, because what's revealed later, right, is that those were actually, it was like an Osean disguised drone, well, it was an Erusian drone disguised as an Osean fighter that assassinates President Harling.
There is no hope he survived.
Like, okay, so the only reason why they would do that, instead of just killing that transport,
there will be an inquiry.
You know, with their first wave of UAVs, is that they want to frame you for murder, I guess? Like the Erusians do? You see, it's just, the plot doesn't make any sense, but that's okay. It's a fun game. Alright, so there we go. There's Mission 4 of Ace Combat 7. It's fun. The story is definitely convoluted, and even more so, I'd say, than a lot of previous Ace Combat games. So, alright, thanks for watching, guys, and have a nice day.